This is a short story called Shadows, written by me, K.T. James. I hope you enjoy it, and happy reading! The day started like any other ordinary day. The sun was shining, and the wind picked up as she hurried to her work. Slamming into her office, she quickly sat down and began unwrapping her scarf. Her computer chimed to life. Knock, knock. The girl looked up and smiled. "Well, how was it?" her friend Elizabeth asked. "How was what?" Callie replied. "Your date last night." Callie shook her head. "I didn't have a date last night." She looked back at her emails and continued responding, but still talked with Elizabeth. "What makes you think I had a date last night?" "Because you told me so before you left yesterday." Callie stopped typing. "No, I was sick yesterday. I worked from home." She looked at Elizabeth, confused, thinking about what she had just said. What is she talking about? Elizabeth stared at Callie before shaking her head, saying, "Oh, right. I don't know what I was thinking." Elizabeth stood up. Callie, is there something on your ear?" Callie grabbed a mirror and looked at her ears. "No." "Oh, well. Are we still meeting up with Becca for lunch?" "I can't today. I'm meeting with my dad for lunch. What about tomorrow?" She looked back at her computer and responded to an email. Not hearing her response, she looked back at Elizabeth, who had a quizzical look on her face. "Is tomorrow bad?" Elizabeth shook her head. "That sounds good. I'll chat with Becca and let you know." Callie nodded and continued answering her emails. Elizabeth looked at her once again before walking out, muttering about deja vu. Several hours later, her phone vibrated, pulling her out of her daze. Reading the text, she smiled and quickly answered. Looking at the time, she realized that she needed to leave to meet her dad for lunch. She stood, grabbed her scarf, and headed towards Elizabeth's office. "I'm off for a little bit, but guess what?" Elizabeth shrugged, still confused at Callie's strange behavior that morning. "I give up." "What?" "I've got a date tonight. You know the guy I've been talking with, Scott? We're meeting after work." Callie smiled. Elizabeth stared until Callie shifted uncomfortably. "What?" Elizabeth shook her head. "Nothing. But I swear you have something on your ear. Your ears are darker than normal." "Are you sure you're fine?" Elizabeth shook her head again. Yeah. Go enjoy lunch with your dad. You'll have to tell Becca and I about your date tomorrow." "I will." Heading towards the local cafe, Callie hurried as people kept giving her second looks, glancing at her ears. What are they looking at? She thought. Quickly ducking into the cafe, but not spotting her dad, she sat down at the table to wait. "2 days in a row. What will you have today?" the waitress asked. Callie looked at her in confusion, but didn't say anything. Finally, she said, "Chai tea latte for now. I'm waiting for someone." The waitress nodded and walked away. Callie looked at her phone and texted her dad. Callie, on your way? Dad, hey love, where? Were we meeting again today? Callie, yes, our standing Thursday lunch. Dad, it's Friday, Cal. I'm meeting your mom, but maybe we can all eat together. Callie, nah, don't worry about it. Tell Mom I said hi. Her phone clearly said Thursday, but the cafe's menu board said Friday. Seeing the waitress, she asked for it to go and paid. It's Friday, but where did Thursday go? Callie slowly walked back to work and sat at her desk. Before she knew it, the workday had ended and she headed home. Telling the others goodbye, she ignored their stares at her ears. Once home, she let her dog out and standing outside, smiled. The night was filled with glittering stars, shining their hopeful lights. She hurried back inside, excited about her date. Inside, she reached up to her ears. Taking her hearing aids out, the world silenced. The girl looked at her shadows. Disgusted, she left them on the counter and went into the living room, needing a quick break before putting them back in. The hearing aid sat, and time reviewed its day and reset, knowing that the girl needed to come to terms with her shadows. She needed to accept that she had hearing aids. The day started like any other day, and the day before, and the day before that day. Every day was the same, a mere shadow of the day that she began wearing her hearing aids. The end.